Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. Before I give you today's first hard fact, I'd like to say a big thank you to the driver who brought me to work today, a Bolt driver whose name is Isaac. Isaac, thank you so much for the free ride. I appreciate it. It always makes me nervous when the Bolt drivers recognize me because 5 times out of 6 they often want to give me a free ride, and I'm very uncomfortable with it because I understand how hard things are. This is somebody who spent the ride talking to me, amongst other things, about how the transfers that he's receiving as a result of the work that he's doing are not hitting his account until the next day. So like, I'm always like, all of us, they suffer, this suffer. I don't need this generosity. It's always so humbling, when the drivers do that for me. So I just really want to thank Isaac and Danny. Thank you so much for giving me a free ride today. I really appreciate it, and I loved our conversation, and I hope that you're going to go out and vote on the 18th. I also hope that you're going to be able to get your neighbors to go out and vote on the 18th. Yes, that's our first hard fact of the day. The governorship and state assembly elections are in 9 days. It's not news, that they've postponed the polls by 1 week because the court has ordered that they must let Labour Party inspect all the BVAS machines before they reconfigure them for the election. Now, if INEC has if INEC had allowed LP and PDP to inspect the machines since last week, maybe we wouldn't have needed this postponement. But either way, here we are, Lagos. I beg. Just like I said to Isaac on the ride over, I'm an evangelist. I'm always evangelizing everywhere. Same way I said to Isaac, I'm saying the same thing to you. Please come out and vote on the 18th. If INEC staff at your polling unit frustrated you the last time on February 25th, don't let that stop you this time. I was on a TV program on Sunday, and I said that, look, if you believe that someone has robbed you, the first time, you don't let them rob you a second time by not doing what you can to protect your voice. If someone stole your voice the first time, don't give the voice away for free the second time. Fight for it. Put up a fight. And the ways to put up a fight is to look at all the places where things went wrong the last time and work towards preventing those things from going wrong, this time on the 18th, at least in 9 days' time. So that means that when you come out on Saturday and INEC staff don't show up on time, no wahala, because you have charged your phone overnight. You have come with a power bank. You have come with food so you can stay long. Maybe you and your neighbors self have arranged to hire chairs and higher canopies so that you're comfortable while you're waiting. You're not standing under the sun. If the INEC staff are not on time at your unit, you do what you did on the 25th. You call Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info will put a call across to INEC and ask them, yo, Obweni, waiting they occur. Arrive at this place, Joe, and then they'll arrive. And don't be afraid of violence. Remember that the larger the crowd of law-abiding voters at a unit, the harder it is for thugs. Thugs, they fear face. In River State, where I lived for a long time, the politics in River State, the politicians used to always sing, your face, no, they fear my face. Face, fear, face. Because face, they fear face. You understand what I mean? Crowd, thug, they fear face. Because at the end of the day, they're a bunch of cowards. They are a bunch of cowards. They don't want to be where you have a bunch of people who are there in their numbers, So come out in your numbers. Remember that there are people who voted on the 25th after they were stabbed. So you have to be committed to this journey. This journey is not a one-day journey. You understand? It's not 1 day. It's not 1 week. We're here for the long haul. Effecting change, it's a step-by-step process. It's a gradual process. You have to be committed to it. You have to be. And remember, the police is also saying, oh, we're going to protect you as well. And you also now know that if INEC staff say, oh, we can't upload your guinea, don't get frustrated. Just say, okay, Openi, upload it offline. Insist on that. Insist that they should upload the results offline. And even before voting starts, safe, tell them, calm down. Please, I hope you have the code for governorship and House of Assembly. It's not after you tell me no code. Before you post start accreditation and voting safe, make sure they have the code for both. And let me tell you something. INEC is under hot pressure right now. Their seat is on fire. Everybody's looking at them. Everybody's blaming them. So this is an opportunity for them to redeem themselves. Because now they know that you now know what they know. You understand what I mean? Let's not say everything. They now know they know that you know what they know. You understand what I mean? So come out in your numbers. The power is yours, Lagos. I understand your frustration, but every system can be improved on if the people insist on the right thing. And if they keep coming out again and again and again, go and exercise your power peacefully on Saturday. And while you're there, if you witness anything at all, call our newsroom on 01465 7175. 01465 7175. Thank you for listening to Hard Facts today. I have a great show for you, starting with the big three. Let's talk about this morning's horrible train collision. Then let's talk about why INEC postponed the election by 1 week. And then let's talk about my interview with Jandor yesterday. On Eyewitness today, we're going to talk about these stories some more, because I know that some of you would want to share your thoughts on these stories, but you're not able to call in the big three. You can talk to me about it on Eyewitness. You can also talk to me simply about what's happening in your part of Lagos. Perhaps you witnessed the train collision. Perhaps you witnessed the market fire in Akere yesterday. Talk to me about all of that from 4 o'clock. And then at 5 o'clock, we'll talk about the different Guba races across the country. We'll talk about INEC's postponement, BVAS, all of it. 5 to 6, we'll have that conversation. On today's Step Down, we'll talk some more about social sanctions for people who take part in election rigging. Expect news, business, and sports at the top of the hour every hour. But let's get started with today's Big Three. Lagos, I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on the Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
How can government improve transit in Lagos, transit safety in Lagos? Could INEC have avoided postponing the election by handing over BVAS data sooner? Did Jandor make his case to you? It's the Big Three, Lagos. Let's talk. At least 7 people have died after a bus crashed into a train this morning. That's our first terrible story. It was a staff bus of the Lagos State government carrying civil servants to work. And according to LASMA, the bus driver tried to rush through a railway crossing before the oncoming train could get there. That's how the collision happened. And there's a lot to think about here. Why do so many drivers think that they can outrun trains? This thing happens quite a bit, Lagos. And I've said this thing before, because we've had this accident before. Your car, your bus, it cannot outrun that train. Listen, Lagos, your bus, your car, it cannot, in capital letters, cannot outrun that train. Yes, I know that you don't want to wait for the train because it takes time to pass, but Ejo, Pico, Passisi, those extra 2 or 3 minutes are not worth your life or the life of the people in the vehicle with you. Please be patient at a railway crossing. Farabale. I beg. So that's on the motorist side. Now, on the government side, is government doing everything in its power to prevent these collisions? Because we heard that the security guards and the train station officers in that area stopped other cars from passing. They even tried to stop this Lagos staff bus from passing. My guys still put head. In other parts of the world, railway crossings have turnstiles or gates. When a train is coming, it trips a sensor and the turnstile closes. That way, even if driver wants to risk people's lives, there's nowhere for him to pass. Why don't all our crossings here in Lagos have them? Why don't we respect trains? Sometimes you see a market next to the railway line. And this is not something that happens just in Nigeria. I've seen it in India. I've seen it in Bangladesh. Like, our people no just send. How can we change these attitudes around railways? Because guess what, Lagos, more trains are coming. No, more trains are coming. Yes, most segments of the metro lines are going to be elevated from the roads, but we still have segments that will run on the surface and cross the roads. More trains are coming. And then you have the existing lines in parts of Lagos. Over time, as things develop, there's going to be more trains running on them. Then we have new railway lines coming, like the Apapa Link Road the Apapa Link to Lagos Ibadan Railway. That means more railway crossings. We're going to have more and more tragedies if we don't improve the way we interact with railways. So how do we do that? We also got reports that emergency services did not arrive until almost 2 hours after the accident. How do we get emergency services to arrive on time? You see, this is why people who earn 800,000, 1 million, 1.5, 500,000, 400,000 safe, people who earn these salaries still leave Nigeria to go and do, jobs that they wouldn't do in Nigeria. Because of emergency services. Because emergency service is the difference between life and death. It is what determines whether you survive an accident or not. It is determined by how quickly emergency service can reach you. Sometimes not be untimely death. Sometimes not just say you no get the emergency help where you need in that time. The average Nigerian doesn't have training in emergency healthcare. So there's also that. Response time needs to improve. How do we get that to improve? How do we get people to behave better around railway lines, around railway crossings? What needs to be done for the government to start putting more turnstiles and gates at railway crossings? 0700-993-993-993 0700-993-993-993. That's for men. Women, call us on 01465-7190 01465-7190. We've got WhatsApp as well. I want to hear your thoughts from everywhere. Seriously. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Hello. Thank you for calling us. Hello.
Yeah, Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
Yeah. May the souls of the departed rest in peace.
Amen.
Sandra, the bus driver, did he make it?
Yes, he survived. He's in custody now.
Good. They need to try him. Sandra, if you see most of the government drivers in Lagos State, what they do at times, carrying schoolboys. Okay, let me just talk about that one alone.
Okay.
This one that happened now is sheer. Let me just put it in the part of government because they didn't do what they're supposed to do.
Okay.
Because most of those train tracks, they are open. Even while the train is horning all the way from distance, people are still trying to be smart. They're trying to make their way. Even there was a day, a vehicle wanted to cross, from GRA to the express, and we're telling him, they're warning him. The guy still managed and crossed. So people there should be a kind of awareness on that aspect. And government needs to see what they can do, probably to see how they can close up these places, these open places that people normally, come in and going through. Most of the government drivers need to kind of warn them, because most of them don't obey. They believe they work for government and they are probably above the law. Driving government vehicles, nobody can challenge them. LASMA can't challenge them. None of these officials can challenge them. You understand? So they see them as government taking. They don't just let them go.
Right.
But the other ones are the scapegoat. But let God take control. God bless you, Sandra.
Bless you as well. Thank you very much for calling. 99.3. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Emeka speaking from Papa.
Welcome, Emeka from
You
Apapa.
see, years back, there are barricades.
Yes. Yes.
But these days, where is it visible? Look at the way. In other parts of the world, their nighttime are still working. But in Nigeria, it has been sold. Are we not our problem? Why should where train is passing? Why should it not be barricaded? Why should Lagos State not be showing an example for other states to be copying? Now, nothing will happen. The driver of that bus, if he's alive, should pay for it. They should jail him. And those, if maybe they have eaten money for those barricades, those people should be jailed. That is how to run a country, not players. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for calling us. 99.3. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Thank you, my sister. I'm fine.
Welcome. What's your name?
Dave.
Hi, Dave.
My sister. You see, whatever you are seeing now, because human being naturally has some level of stubbornness, but it's the responsibility of government to put some things in place to avoid it. I have been to some places. I could remember 2011, my sister, when I was in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They have train everywhere, but they have measures. Even when you want to get into the train, they have measure. You don't just enter. You can see what is happening in Lagos State. Lagos State is a scam. It's a shame. Upon the whole money Lagos State government is making, the thing is ending up in some people's pocket. What is happening in Lagos State? Nothing is working in Lagos. And they're pretending, telling us that Lagos was good. You're comparing Lagos of 1978 to a new model. Upon the whole money we're making in Lagos. Lagos is bigger than about 3 or 4 West African countries. Lagos is a country on its own. They should stop deceiving themselves.
All right. Thanks for calling. Chinea is on the line. Hi. All right. Chinea isn't here anymore. Let's go to WhatsApp and see the messages we've got there. Dio says the whole blame should be on the bus driver and no one else. Despite the usual rush in Nigeria, where has it taken the economy? In Canada, nobody rushes and things get done. The only ones you see rushing are the emergency services. Even in advanced countries with barricades, accidents happen, though reduced. Dio, thanks for your message. Sandra, my take is that the drivers of these buses can be so reckless because they are driving government vehicle. Okay, thank you very much for your message. We've got Mayomi Oluwaseyi from Ota who says, my sympathy to the family of the deceased. I think the driver should be used as a scapegoat. Sandra, you're talking about emergency management. Those people are short of manpower. How many people want to work in fire service these days? Mayomi, thank you very much. We've got Oluwaseyi who says, I'm very happy they arrested the driver of the bus. The man should be charged with manslaughter. Because according to eyewitnesses and reports from LASMA, the man tried to outrun the train. Train is not something that just appears out of nowhere. Even if the train is 5 kilometers away, you will sure know because the horn alone is deafening. Exactly right, Oluwaseyi. Exactly right. This message here from Bob Ken in Agbado says, railway crossings usually have signal or security men with red flag. Let's save lives and properties on our roads. Bob Ken, thank you for your message. The security guard stopped other vehicles, but this particular bus allegedly refused to stop, according to the eyewitnesses that were there that gave us their own accounts. Sandra, what I heard is that the train is few meters away from any car. That if train is few meters away from any car magnet on the train will hold it down. Well, that's not true. So there's no car magnet that holds it down. However, you cannot outrun a train. It's that simple. They look like they're moving slow, but they're moving very fast. You know, sharp past train. You know, be James Bond. Don't try it.
Babájídé Olúṣọlá Sanwó-Olú ó ti dé nìyẹn. Èkó máa tún dùn sí i. Ó yá owó tó mọ́wọ́ sí i ọ̀rọ̀ wa máa yé dẹrùn gidi. Èkó dùn wọ́n. Iṣẹ́ kékeré ọ̀nà tẹ̀lọ́ sí wa ẹ̀wọ̀n fara ìgbàlódé. Mo ní tẹ̀gàn kọ́ èkó ń sọ tẹrú tọmọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o BOS ń bọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Ó yá red line ló fi parí iṣẹ́. Ó yá ètò ààbò nílùú Èkó ó dúró wámúwámú.
Babájídé Olúṣọlá Sanwó-Olú fún gómìnà àti Ọbáfẹ́mi Kádírì Hamzat fún igbákejì gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Greater Lagos rising. APC progress.
Me, I'm not afraid of that man. Me too. What can he really do?
I hope you people are discussing about paying me my rent.
Oga landlord, calm down. We are discussing about the upcoming elections.
Nonsense. Don't tell me to calm down. Your mates are at the Akamata Community Square selling their votes for 5,000 naira. But you are here doing what I don't know.
Oga landlord, do you know that 5,000 naira spread over the next 4 years is just 4 naira per day? Is this what we should sell our votes for? God forbid.
Oga landlord, wise up. We must vote in the right people this time, instead of selling our votes to people who have nothing good to offer our community.
That one is your business. You ladies better go and collect yours, if that will help you gather my rent at the end of the month.
Do not listen to people like this landlord. Election is not a business venture. It is your civic duty to your country to help elect will create a better life for you and a great future for your children. Do not sell your future. Do not sell your vote. This message is brought to you by the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the MacArthur Foundation.
There is a huge difference between the relative experience of salary earners and those of business owners and entrepreneurs. Someone who has never had cause to set up a business of his, who has never had cause to source for funds, turn it around, pay salaries, pay back the loan, and still make profit cannot be expected to be hands-on when saddled with an economy the size of Lagos. Experience that hasn't curbed Lagos's traffic in 24 years of their reign. Experience that hasn't addressed Lagos's perennial flood. Experience that currently leaves us with over 2 million out-of-school children. The duo of Jandor and Funke have been investing in Lagos's economy for about 2 decades, running their personal businesses, employing peoples with track records of success. Lagos needs a breath of fresh air. Vote Dr. Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran Jandor as Governor of Lagos State. PDP! Power to the people!
This is what goodness tastes like. Golden caramel, creamy buttermint, and rich coffee. There's a Cadbury candy for every moment.
Introducing Cadbury Caramel Candy, Cadbury Coffee, and your favorite Cadbury Buttermint candies. Now there's lots more to share and enjoy.
Oh yeah, there's a Cadbury candy for every moment.
Òkèdè ayọ̀ náà fún gbogbo Èkó. Sanwó-Olú ń bọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni. Babájídé Olúṣọlá Sanwó-Olú ó ti dé nìyẹn. Èkó máa tún dùn sí i. Ó yá owó tó mọ́wọ́ sí i ọ̀rọ̀ wa máa yé dẹrùn gidi. Èkó dùn wọ́n. Iṣẹ́ kékeré ọ̀nà tẹ̀lọ́ sí wa ẹ̀wọ̀n fara ìgbàlódé.
Babájídé Olúṣọlá Sanwó-Olú fún gómìnà àti Ọbáfẹ́mi Kadri Hamzat fún igbákejì gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Greater Lagos rising. APC progress.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. While we are talking about our first story, let me also remind you that INEC has postponed the state elections by 1 week. Now, that's our second story. INEC says it needs more time to obey a court order. Now, let me tell you what happened. After the presidential election, Labour Party went to the tribunal. As part of their case, they got an order for INEC to let them inspect all the BVAS machines that were used. LP wants to get the data on the BVAS machines about accredited voters and results. After that, LP complained that INEC still had not complied with the order and shown them the BVAS machines. Then, INEC went to the appeal court. They asked the court to change the order because they said they needed to reconfigure the BVAS machines in time for the state elections. Now, reconfigure is just big grammar for wiping the data. You can't have data from an old election on the machine while you are running a new election. But LP said no. They said if INEC is allowed to wipe the BVAS machines, evidence about the presidential election results would be lost. So now that matter carried and go appeal court yesterday. Now we think carried and go appeal court yesterday with that. And the court said that INEC can reconfigure the machines, but first, INEC must share the data on the machines with LP. Basically, INEC must back up all the data on the machines on a server. Only after backing up the data can INEC go ahead and wipe the machines and set them up for the Gubernatorial election. So just like your phone now, sometimes your phone will tell you memory full. You save the things on your phone on your cloud. Save the photos on your phone on your cloud. Some of you have Google Cloud. Some of you have iCloud. Just like that. So if you save it on the cloud, it means you can delete the pictures and the videos on your phone, but they're not deleted because they're still on your cloud. You understand? So that's essentially what is supposed to happen here. Now we're talking about more than 176,000 BVAS machines. Because remember that some polling units needed more than one because of equipment failure. So INEC said, look, there's no way we can upload all this data in time and reconfigure these devices in time. So it's better to postpone the elections and give ourselves 1 more week. So that's why they postponed. Now, the most important question is, would this extension have been needed if INEC had started giving LP this data immediately LP got the first court order, LP and PDP? That's the most important question. And the second question, because the first question leads us to this second question. The second question is, why did INEC delay? Especially when you think about all the smoke that INEC has been catching since election day. Wouldn't it have made sense for INEC to be very quick to comply with a court order like this? To prove to Nigerians that it had nothing to hide? INEC is saying that the 2-week gap between the national elections and state elections was too short and it's not enough time to get all this stuff done. But remember, it was INEC that set the dates for these elections. Unprovoked. It was INEC that set the 2-week gap. It was also INEC that brought the BVAS technology. So when INEC was setting the schedule and choosing the technology, shouldn't they have realized that they needed more time between elections? Should INEC not have anticipated that parties will go to tribunal? It's INEC. You've been doing elections since at least 1999. Should INEC not have anticipated that tribunal matter go happen? They did it in Osun, and Osun went to tribunal. Didn't anyone at INEC game this out and realize that, look, we need a system to get this data to parties quickly so that it doesn't interfere with our schedule. Or we need to put more time between national and state elections. Or we need to have backup BVAS machines that are untouched in case they need these ones for evidence. Was all this avoidable? I swear government agencies operate like the rest of us don't work. You know, there are things that if you are a working woman or a working man in your own organization, there are things that wouldn't happen in your organization that you see happening in some government agencies, and you're wondering, should we not this same work all of us they work? Abby? Because all of us are always doing SWOT analysis. At least I want to assume that in your different workplaces, you people do SWOT analysis, your strengths, your weaknesses, your, all those things. You're doing it, right? And you're like, okay, you're gaming things out. Oh, this is what we'll do if this doesn't happen. This is how we'll fix this if this... Like, waiting to occur. What's your take on this court order from yesterday, Lagos? What's your take on INEC's decision to postpone the elections by 1 week? And yes, you can talk to me about the first story as well, the tragic story of the train colliding with the bus. 0700993 993 993 01465 We've got WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. Hello. Thanks for calling us. Sorry about that. Give us a call back if you can. 99.3.
Hello, Sandra.
How you doing?
Good afternoon. This is Austin from Lekki.
Welcome, Austin from Lekki.
My heart breaks to the those people that lost their life this early in that tragic event this morning. It's an unavoidable thing, but due to the lackadaisical attitude of government and equally some of people that who have engaged to carry out some duties, I say to the immediate family, and God grant them the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. On the side of INEC, this shows the unpreparedness of INEC and how lackadaisical they have been. Well, we are all watching, and there's no way INEC will exempt themselves from this their nonchalant attitude, and they must pay heavily for their action. And I pray that the Nigerian judicial system should help us out of this quagmire, so that the whole nation will have a new face again. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much. 99.3. Hello. Hello.
Hi,
how you doing? What's your name? Hello. Hi.
Hi, Sandra. How you doing?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm good. My name is Shadi.
Hi, Shadi.
So the tragedy that happened in the Ikeja today has only one culprit, and it's the driver. Because government, they put things in place all the time. But you know who goes to destroy it, Sandra?
Who?
Us. We take out the guardrails, we take out the things for the median, we take it out and they say they're going to use it to make something. And of course, government never replaces it on time. That's where their own fault is. They never replace on time. But the fact is, we go and remove it to make something else.
Right.
Or in this case, it was not there, but then the driver did not even stop. So it's us. If we don't start changing our attitudes to things, to emergencies, to how things work, even if government put the guardrails back in, we will still do the same thing because we will run through the guardrails. So, so education is needed. Awareness is needed that when the train or whatever, don't do anyhow. Because if that same anyhow, that INEC carried to the election. No, because it's the INEC anyhow. That Nigerian, I hate saying Nigerian anyhow, but it's there. It's that same one that he put in the election that made them think, everything's going to go so smoothly. We don't need to have plan B, because they definitely don't have plan B. And until we all start sitting up to act like, things can work, we're going to be the same mess every time. Have a good day.
Shade, thank you so much for calling. Malik is on the line. Hi, Malik.
Sandra, I don't read.
Never read.
I'm calling from Oshodi.
Welcome.
Although the road is free.
Okay.
Well, anyway, Sandra,
You see the train issue you're talking about? Look, I remember then, if you're getting to that junction, when there's a train, you hear a bell. Bang, bang, bang. Then there's one barricade that will just shut down for cars not to pass. When they are doing that railway line, did they forget about that? Commissioner of Transport, Minister of Transport, where una dey? Sandra Nigerian Brewery, before you pass there, you see a railway track. The one at Yaba, same thing. The one at Oyinbo, same thing. The one at Malu Road, that corner are using, we don't know if it's functional again. Look, Sandra, even on your street light, you will see naked wires on your street light. I don't even notice it.
Yeah.
Naked wires. Commissioner of Engineering, Commissioner of Works, who's in charge of it? Nobody knows. After all, for INEC, we have a professor that calls them professor. Did you see what they did? Another commissioner don't come and reset or configure anything. Sandra, look, when a father keeps lying to his children, who does the father say on the children? Lying news, INEC has to be now. Every time we come out on national TV and lies and give us excuses, and yes, Sandra, it already.
All
Bye-bye.
right, Malik, thank you very much for calling. Let's take a look at messages we have on WhatsApp, and then I'll bring you our final story. We had a conversation with Jandor yesterday, and he had a few thoughts about some of the problems that plague Lagos. On WhatsApp, this one here says, my advice to LP and PDP concerning information they're getting from BVAS now is that they should ensure the courts have a copy of them. Otherwise, INEC will come later to say their backup system has been corrupted, so they don't have all the information again. So whatever the parties have now from their investigation, they must ensure they keep a copy with the court, so there'll be no deniers or conflict of interest. Ego Inigondo with that message there. We've got Michael from Wawa who says, Sandra, thank you for clarifying the appeal court judgment yesterday, because I was confused when we're hearing another version of the story from the opposition. All right, Michael, thank you for listening to my clarification. Braveheart says, first of all, what are the criteria for hiring all these bus drivers, including the BRT buses in Lagos? Because I feel most of these drivers don't have what it takes to drive long buses. Lagos, the government itself, should please tell us the criteria for hiring these drivers, because if they do, then it should have rules and regulations that guide them. Sandra, on this INEC issue, you give INEC 1 month, they will never give us credible elections. 4 years of planning, see what we're into. Augustine from Elasa Maja with that message there. We've got this message here. Sandra, I was live there. The bus driver never stopped when he was told to stop. It was a disaster. Jolly Papa with that eyewitness account. Jolly Papa, thank you so much for sharing that story with us. If you just tuned in, hello to you. You're listening to the Big Three on Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Now, let me bring you our final story on today's show. Like I mentioned when we started, we had a conversation with Olajide Jandor Adediro last night. Special thank you to EIE for putting together yesterday's session, and all of you who stayed tuned after Hard Facts to catch that interview. Thank you as well to all of you. Thank you and Pele to the sports fans who missed sports yesterday, at least for the first 2 hours. Now election season, Pele. Anyway, we had an in-depth conversation with the PDP Guba candidate, and if you missed it, here are the highlights of that conversation.
This is one of the things that you hear whenever you are outside Lagos and anybody wants to speak of Lagos. They will say traffic. But for me, of course, we understand that we have a very small space, and we have huge number of people here. So there are huge vehicular movements on our roads. But there are places we call flashpoints. We have about 12 of these flashpoints. Okay, what we are going to do is to look at these flashpoints and see, because some of these flashpoints, solution to those traffic is not about infrastructural renewal, it's just a leadership issue. A governor that will come and everybody will be looking at his back as if the governor is behind him everywhere in state. We have had that before in this state of Lagos. You know, a governor that will practically be living on the road. I have spoken to this issue before. If we are going to, let me use Ianosolo, for instance, for those who understand that axis very well. If we are going to Ianosolo down to Ejigo, you understand, you will see that when you leave that Isolo under bridge and you are moving to Ilewe bus stop, the first point where you have a traffic is the intersection of Oba Akip. That's that junction where you have bad road. The road is terribly bad and people busting out for that place. So solution to that place is just fix this road. There is a traffic light at that junction, yet you see disturbing and still doing a whole lot in their road. Provide leadership to clear them, because when you leave that place, the next place is when you get to Miriakari Junction before you start seeing another one that will take you to Okiafa area. So all of these flashpoints, you have to study them to know what to do. Then there are ones that require, infrastructural renewal. Take, for instance, if you want to decongest Third Mainland Bridge. I've said this over and over again. This will take us much to do. When we're coming, we will reduce the number of vehicles that you see in Lagos CBD. How? How is the fact that when you're coming from the mainland going into Third Mainland in the morning, you see this expanse of land by your left in the Woroshoki. We are going to build a park and ride there for ferry. We're going to dredge the water all the way. I will give a private sector to build a park and ride there. And I'll come up with a policy. If you are the only one in your car in the morning and you are driving, you don't have a business on Third Mainland, go and join the ferry. Okay? And this PPP would also inform the owner of the business having an hailing vehicle in the CBD, so that when you get there, you have one of these vehicles that will take you to wherever you want to go. It will be a complete package. That's what we should be speaking. And by so doing, we will reduce the number of vehicular movement you have on Third Mainland Bridge. We will also reduce the number of vehicular movement you have in the Lagos CBD, and we will then go to the rail issue, because if we want to resolve this issue, we have to ensure that Lagosians can commute not just on the road. We will have what we call integrated rail line system. The one that will bring you from Ikorodu, intersect in Ikeja. If you are going to Agbado, you can follow that one. If you are going to Lagos Island, then you can continue your journey. This will not cost our state anything. All we need to do is to get a private sector to come and invest in this, open up the monopoly, open up the space for private sector to come and play. So if we're able to do this and get to Lekki Ajah Expressway, that one is even terrible. And by the time you see the refinery coming up now, there will be so much pressure on that road. So quickly, what we need to first do is that all the intersection you have on that axis, you will see that despite the intervention of Lagos State, breaking the turn-off, doing all sort of, it still hasn't solved that solution. But for us, we first come and fly over all the intersection you have on Lekki Ajah Expressway. If we do that, if you don't have business anywhere, just fly and go. After that, there is need for us to build an alternative route. Giving an example of Eleko Junction. If you are coming from Eleko Junction, from Epe, when you get to Eleko Junction, there is a road called Eleron Ogbe Road. It's on your right. That road, we can build that road to Itom and bust out in Baduri. So for people who don't have business in Ajah, Awoyaya, Shangotedo, they will just follow that road and go. Now, if you have been to the Lekki Free Trade Zone very soon, you would have noticed that it started building up like a papa. If care is not taken, we're going to have a kiosk in that place very soon. So by now, we should have built the coastal road that will take care of what we have there. So all of these, that coastal road, I will give it to OPS that will build it and tow it. And because I've given you two different alternative routes, I don't need to put my money on that road again, or government money on that road again. All I need to do is call somebody and say, you know what, I'm opening up this economy for you. Come and give us this. And before you know it, they will build it and tow it. That way we'll have, so I can speak to every specific areas in Lagos, their peculiarity and traffic. I've spoken about Last Iba Road. Again, that's another terrible traffic point. And if you see what is there, it's just for government to say, you know what, there is this Loma truck in this waste disposal, what's it called, that is causing this. They just park on the road. This thing belongs to government. Take it off the road and clear that place, and that place will move. On the other side, when you get to Igondo, what you see NURTW people extorting people and police even extorting people there. All you need to do is to provide leadership and clear that place out. If you have taken one person and subject that person to, you know what it means. So everybody will sit up and do the needful. Leadership will solve some of this problem. I've spoken about our waterways and our roads. Little things. You see, that's why for us, when we come, we're going to decentralize this public works so that they don't put too much pressure in the center. Decentralization in the sense that you have in Ikorodu, Badagry, Lagos Island, Ekpe, so that they can pick up this work and fix it immediately. Some of this traffic are caused by little things like potholes everywhere. You can speak to this on all those RGs, Kotun, Ejigbo, and all of this. That is what you see. If we're able to put the wealth of Lagos to use, we will get all of this right. Lastly, is discipline. We used to have a governor in these states which says that, look, what betide you if you drive against the traffic? All of that is what we have in Lagos today. You can't drive against the traffic. So if we're able to put all of that up, and you will see that everybody will sit tight and form in line. Leadership is what will solve some of this problem and put in Lagos wealth to use.
That was Jandor speaking about traffic yesterday. He spoke about a number of other things. He addressed the Agberu problem in Lagos, security in Lagos, toll gates, ease of doing business. I'm going to play clips from those clips of those answers as well for you on the other side of 4 o'clock. But let me hear your thoughts on what you just heard, and also on what's the word I'm looking for now? Also on the first two stories we brought to you. I'm seeing lots of comments on those on WhatsApp. So let me try and take a look at some of them. Bob Ken says, I listened to the interview with Jandor yesterday. I was impressed because he knows major parts of Lagos. He has the answers to every question. We've got this one here from Tebekemi Lucky. Tebekemi says, INEC has exposed all what they've been doing for years. Why drag issue of inspection with parties? Why is it that they like announcing information at night? That's not a reflection of a good organization. All right. Ejembi Vincent says, now that INEC is allowing both the APC and opposition to conduct an inspection, hope they will be doing it together so no one will follow through the back and tamper with evidence. All right. We've got Harry from Yaba who says the point in guardrails is to prevent intentional or unintentional, example brake failure, driving onto the tracks at the wrong time. If we say it is the responsibility of the people, then we should dispense with traffic lights, etc., and just depend on people being responsible for order. No country on earth does that. Harry, thank you for your message. We'll take a break now. When we come back from this break, we'll bring you business news. On the other side of 4 o'clock, we'll keep talking about all of these stories, so don't go away.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.